Hello, my name is Sylvia Denham and I'm here again with Tanya Bunting. As I said, I'm Sylvia Denham and I help you in your parenting. I help to get you to be excited and motivated by your day ahead while you are supporting your children in their development and actually while you are developing yourself as well. So Tanya is going to talk to us about what she does. Hello, Tanya, and over to you.
Hello, Sylvia. I'm just reflecting on what it is that you do at the moment, and it immediately made me think of what amazing people, characters, women are when we think about how many things that they manage to juggle in a day in terms of managing businesses, a job, the children, and so much else. So in terms of the people that are listening or watching, please, please, please remember that you can never overestimate how much you manage to do.
Thank you for that for a start.
Sylvia, how can I help? What would you like me to talk about today?
Give me a story of how you've helped a mother. I think this is the perfect thing for everyone who would be listening and watching, and certainly for the mothers that I help.
Yes, so I'm a personal and professional development coach. I have clinical hypnotherapy and NLP training in my toolkit and an extensive background in school leadership. So what I aim to do is to inspire you and yours to shine even brighter. So basically, I help people make the changes that they want to make. And just hearing you ask me to tell you a story about a mum springs to mind who had been really, really brave, really, really courageous, and decided to retrain as a teacher before her children got to the teenage years. So she went back to college,
is a brave step.
Really, really hard. Yeah, absolutely.
I did it pre-children, but that is a brave step to do.
Yeah, to be studying and bringing up a family simultaneously. It's no mean feat. And once she qualified, she lived in Scotland, so she automatically got placed in a school for a year. But what happens in Scotland is that in order to get a permanent role, you then have to apply for jobs later. And she'd been applying for jobs for 4 years when we met, and was really, really worried that she was on a temporary contract. This was in about October, November time. And after Christmas, she wasn't going to have a job. So she was really concerned as a lone parent about being able to provide for her children. So she had applied for lots and lots of jobs. She was mega motivated. However, when I read her letter, I could see all sorts of areas in which she could actually tweak it up to be more attractive, to get more interviews. So we did that, and she was called for interviews.
Can I just
what else? Yeah, please do.
So were you working with her one-to-one?
I was working with her one-to-one on Zoom, because obviously in COVID times, we all got to have a new experience, really, didn't we? So so I'm down on the coast in what's oftentimes known as sunny Bournemouth. I'm just looking out there, a little bit cloudy today, and she's all the way up in Scotland. So for me, it was a great privilege to work with somebody, albeit at a distance. So you had a question for me there?
Yeah, so no, that's what I was asking. Were you working with her one-to-one? And you were saying that she contact with regards to the head, that was where you were.
So in terms of her, she had applied for jobs. She wasn't getting jobs. The quality of her letter needed to be improved so that she could get interviews. But at the point where we were doing the interview preparation, there was lots of self-doubt, self-sabotage creeping in. So what we were able to do was to deal with the root of those things. And then I was able to give her tools to plan forward. And she went to 2 interviews, and 2 interviews later, she had a permanent role in what was the school that she really, really wanted. Wow. And was looking forward to Christmas, having a job after Christmas, and being able to provide for her children. So yeah, a worry off her mind, to say the least. Yeah, so it was a real privilege, and she was fantastic. She learned the tools that I was teaching her really, really quickly. She then went away, she planned her presentation, she really thought about what she was doing, and she then flew and was looking forward, simply because she gave herself time to work with somebody who could help her to be in the right space, to be able to plan, and to be able to make sure that she performed at her best at interview. And what she said was that it wasn't just about the interview process. She could now use those skills to plan on a daily basis in terms of being a busy mum with a professional role, in order to manage her mindset better with the children. And she noticed that the children in her classroom were responding better too.
Well, I'm going to say I love so much about that story. I tell you the things that spark out for me, because I try and pick out those. One, that she gave herself time. She gave herself time to do what you were about to ask her. And that's, I think, a big deal, because obviously that's how it works. You work with people, but they need to give themselves time. And I'm sure that that's what you go through with them at the beginning. And I know, as you say, you do all those, but what I can see in the background is what I know is your book, and I've been reading your book called Get the Teaching Job You Want. So that's why she was the one, you were the one for her in terms of all of that. But I know that that's a book to read. But tell us about your book, because I'm going to end us here, but can you tell us about your book, and can you tell us what we need to do to get a hold of you, and what we need to know about you? And I will put all that information.
So in terms of the book, that came about because once I left teaching, I went into coaching, and I was still being contacted by people in the teaching and teaching assistant profession who wanted help with interview. And one day, over a glass of wine, when a coach of mine said to me, couldn't you just put all these people in a room and train them together to know how to apply for a job? I started to think, actually, this is something that, because of my recruitment background, I can really support with. And when I first started out, I didn't know the expectation, and I learned the hard way, I suppose. So the book is a self-coaching book for people who want to apply for a job. It's called Get the Teaching Job You Want, only because the stories in the book are my stories, and they're about education, they're about the education world. However, John Laval, who's the president of the Society of NLP, when he read the book, he said to me, this book has got purpose outside of teaching. So essentially, it's a self-coaching book that people can read, know more about recruiting, how things work in terms of what happens when you send your letter in, how you're ranked in an order, and how they decide who they're going to call to interview and who isn't going to be called, and how interviews are designed to support the interviewee to show their best, and for the panel to be able to select the right candidate. So it's a book that can be used by trustees of schools, by governors of schools, when they're designing the interview process too. It has got, more uses than maybe meet the eye when you first look at the cover. So
how can people get hold of you? This is you know.
Oh, they can go to my website, which is www.tanyabuntingcoaching.org. And yeah, there's a little contact form on there, and I'd love to hear from people. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Tanya. That's really helpful.
You're so welcome.
As always. So you know how to get hold of Tanya. For me, I have to remember to remind people. I will also put my own Calendly links, so get in touch with me, that and all the links about me as well, wherever you find this video. So thank you so much, Tanya. And I'm sure that people will find this very helpful.
You're so welcome, Sylvia. It's really good talking to you again today.
Thank you.
Thank you.